Hello everyone, I am Sukanya Roy and I welcome you all once again in my HS First Year Biology classes. So today I am going to start with my fourth lecture on the chapter Cell, the Unit of Life. So let's begin with our class. So today we are going to study first of all about the different types of specialized structures present in the cell, mainly about the boundaries of the cell, okay, which protects the cell from outside, okay, and gives definite shape and uh, structure to our cell. At the very beginning, we will start with our class with a specialized structure termed as cell membrane, okay. So cell membrane is a thin and flexible structure which provides a boundary to the cell. Okay. So you can see here a very basic structure of a cell is given where a nucleus is there at the center and it is present within the cytoplasm, but the entire cell is surrounded by a membrane termed as cell membrane. Okay. This one is here is the cell membrane. So it is nothing but the boundary or the covering which protects the cell from outside. Okay. So the main functions of cell membrane is that the cell membrane protects the cell from outside, then it confines or it protects all the cell organelles present within it. Okay. Then the cell membrane also helps in the transport of different types of substances or molecules across the cell. Also, the cell membrane helps in the communication between the different cells. Like as we are having our mouth, and so we can easily express our feelings. Okay, but do the cells have their mouth to express their feelings? No, right? So they have to communicate with the other cells or pass the signals within our body from one cell to the other with the help of different types of chemicals. And also the cell membrane plays a very important role in the communication and signaling of the different types of cells. Okay. Also, the cell membrane provides definite shape and structure to the cell. Clear? Also, the cell membrane is present in all the different types of cells. Like either it may be prokaryotes or it might be eukaryotes or any type of cells. All the cells are having cell membrane within them. Okay. Next, the structure of cell membrane or how it actually looks. You can see here one diagram is given to represent the structure of cell membrane, but first of all let us know what is the composition of cell membrane. Okay, the cell membrane actually consists of a bilayer of phospholipid and some proteins and carbohydrates. Now, what is phospholipid? Phospholipid, then your proteins, carbohydrates, all of them are nothing but the important biomolecules which are present within our body. Okay, you will study about the biomolecules in a chapter you are having in your syllabus. Okay, that is chapter 9, I think, biomolecules. So here, uh, this this molecule is the phospholipid molecule, and you can see here it is the head of the phospholipid, and this one is the tail. So you can see this layer is one of the phospholipid layer, and once again this layer is the other phospholipid layer. That means two phospholipid layers are present in the cell membrane, and so it is composed of a phospholipid bilayer. Clear? That is two layers. And this ones, can you see? This ones, these are the protein molecules which are present within the cell membrane. And these chains are nothing but of the carbohydrates which are present in the cell membrane. That means the cell membrane constitutes of phospholipid bilayer, some important proteins and carbohydrate molecules. Okay, and this structure of the cell membrane is termed as the fluid mosaic model. Let us study about this structure in details. Okay, so the fluid mosaic model was proposed by two researchers named as Singer and Nicholson in the year 1972, and this model explains the structural components of the cell membrane. Okay, let us have a look on the important points about this model given in the slide. Okay, so it is It was proposed by Ms. Singer and Nicholson in the year 1972. Then the model explains about the biological membranes and the structural components of our membranes. Okay, the cell membrane consists of different types of proteins and carbohydrates embedded in the phospholipid bilayer. Already we have seen this in the last diagram. Here also a diagram is there which represents the fluid mosaic model. Here also you can see that this one is one phospholipid layer, and once again this one is the another phospholipid layer. That means two phospholipid layer is present which together forms the cell membrane, right? So the cell membrane consists of a phospholipid bilayer, okay, that is two layers of phospholipid. Also it consists of different types of proteins. Can you see these structures? These blue color structures are the protein molecules. Okay, so in the fluid mosaic model, actually the proteins are divided into two broad groups. Okay, the first one is termed as intrinsic or internal proteins. Okay, and the second one is termed as extrinsic or peripheral or external proteins. Okay, the proteins which are embedded entirely or which are placed entirely inside the phospholipid bilayer is termed as the intrinsic proteins, like this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, that is wholly it is inserted inside the phospholipid bilayer. So it is termed as internal, that is inside, okay, present inside, internal or intrinsic proteins. The second type is termed as peripheral or external proteins because these proteins are just attached superficially to the cell membrane. Okay, they are not present in the entire membrane, only at a particular part they are attached superficially and they can be removed easily. So they are termed as external or peripheral proteins. And these proteins, internal proteins, are very toughly embedded and they cannot be removed easily. Clear? Okay. Next, why it is termed as a fluid mosaic model? This fluid term comes from the fact that the cell membrane actually is not a very tough or rigid structure. Rather, it is a very flexible and fluid kind of structure which helps the movement, the lateral movements of the different types of proteins and carbohydrates and lipids within it, and so it is termed as a fluid structure. Okay, and why it is given the name of mosaic structure? Because here, different types of molecules are present embedded in the phospholipid bilayer. Like proteins are also there, carbohydrates are also there, cholesterol are also there. So, different types of biomolecules are present side by side, which are together embedded in the entire layer of phospholipid. And so, as different types of molecules are present here, very nearer to each other, so it is termed as mosaic structure. Okay, and hence the name fluid mosaic model is given to the structure. Clear? So this is the most important model for the structure of cell membrane. Okay, now let us study about the cell wall. Okay, so it is also a very important structure present in the cell, but cell wall is not present in all types of cells. Like we had seen that in case of cell membrane, it was present in all the types of cells, but unlike that, the cell wall is not present in all the types of cells. It is present in all the prokaryotic cells, and among the eukaryotic cells, it is present in the plant cells and some fungal cells, but the cell wall is actually absent in case of the animal cells. Okay, so we don't have actually the cell wall. Clear? So let us see the composition of cell wall. That is what the cell wall is made up of. The cell wall is mainly made up of carbohydrate rich molecules. Clear? So in case of plants, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. In case of bacterial cell, they are made up of peptidoglycan, that is sugar and amino acid polymer. Okay, and in case of fungus, they are made up. The cell wall is actually made up of chitin and some important proteins. Clear? In the structure given here, you can see that this is the cell wall which protects or which covers the cell from outside, and this, the inside one, is the cell membrane. And just remember one thing, cell wall is always present on the outer side of the cell membrane. Okay, cell membrane is present inside. Okay, and the cell wall is actually covers the cell membrane from outside. So here this one is the cell wall. Clear? See. Next, the cell wall is made up of three important layers. Okay, and it is not just made up of a single layer, but it is made up of three important layers: the primary cell wall, the secondary cell wall, and the middle lamella. Here you can see three plant cells are given, 1, 2, 3. So three plant cells are given. Can you see one layer is there between all the three, just connecting both, means all the three of the cells, right? So this connecting layer is termed as the middle lamella, as it is present in the middle of the cells and it connects the cells like gum or glue, and so it is termed as a middle lamella. Clear? And in each of the cell, the outermost layer is termed as the primary cell wall, and the layer present just beneath the primary cell wall is the secondary cell wall. Here the violet colored layer is the secondary cell wall, and this one is the yellow colored layer is the plasma membrane or the cell membrane. Okay, so this is the plant cell. This yellow colored layer is the cell membrane. Cell membrane is covered from outside by the cell wall, right? So these two layers are the cell wall, that is, this one is the secondary cell wall and green one is the primary cell wall, and all the cells are glued together with the help of a common layer termed as middle lamella. So the cell wall constitutes of three layers: primary cell wall, secondary cell wall, and middle lamella. Clear? Functions of cell wall. The cell wall is having different types of protective functions. It also provides the cell proper strength and rigidity. It protects the cell from any type of bacterial or fungal infections. Then it helps in the growth and development of the cells. You can see the cell wall provides definite shape, strength and rigidity to the cell. Then it is responsible for transporting substances across the cell. That is, it also helps in the transport of different types of molecules across the cell. Okay, then it provides a barrier, or it protects the cell against any foreign agents or any harmful substances. Also, it helps to prevent water loss, that is, it doesn't allow the water to get lost from the cells. Okay, it also controls the direction of cell growth, and at the end it helps the cell in its growth and development. So this is all about the functions of cell wall. So this is all for today's class. Thank you for listening to the class, and we will return with the next class. Okay, to be continued in the next class. And thank you so much for attending today's class.